Hello people, this is Socrates. Today I will respond to a video. They name, look the title of this video. Logical Muslim finishes Atheist. Try not to laugh. Really. How dare you put this kind of titles after you did a debate with a real person a day ago? Moreover, you don't add the link of the Atheist channel on your channel. How dare you? How dare you, my friend? So you make a debate with a person. You don't add the link. And then the next day you make videos. Logical Muslim finishes Atheist. Try not to laugh. How dare you, my friend? My friend, as we speak, there isn't any Muslim on this planet that I cannot squeeze like I am Godzilla and he's a bug. And I don't even put this kind of titles, my friend. Okay. I have put, for example, I had a video named The Beautiful Annihilation of Ahmed Sobur. But it was me responding to a third person that I don't know, okay. And it was a funny title. I put it for fun, a funny title. I was not in a serious mode adding these condescending titles with a person I just debated a day ago. How dare you, my friend? And if you see the video I said, The Beautiful Annihilation of Ahmed Sobur, I was ending his career every 3 seconds in all the video. 1, 2, 3 seconds ending his career. 1, 2, 3 seconds. It was worse than an annihilation. How dare you add this kind of title? When in the debate, you lost the debate, my friend. In a debate that you clearly lost. Anyway, I will teach you some manners now. Next time to be more modest.
That's why it's a fallacy. Paradox. Yes, it is. That's the definition of a paradox. They're mutually exclusive.
So can you answer the question? Is God limited by logic?
That's a fallacious question. That's my point. It doesn't make sense. It's self-defeating.
It's a yes or no.
It's self-defeating.
So how did he get the message?
God sent an angel to deliver the message.
So that angel is part of the universe.
The angel can come within the universe. Yes, but God is not in the universe.
But God is part of the angel, is he not?
What? You have my respect. Man, I think I watched the entire thing, closing to the very end. I messaged Fayed like not even like 30 minutes in. I was like, bro, Rami's built for these things, man. Because like if I was there, I would be like, yo, just send me location, bro.
Assalamu alaikum. Without further ado, let's go right in.
Mathematics is presupposed to be true.
As it should be. Why wouldn't you? Because we made it up, but we made it up in the first place.
We didn't make up math. No, we didn't make math.
Wait. You think we didn't make up math? Aristotle and all those guys, do you think they didn't make mathematics?
They didn't make up mathematical truths.
Yes, they did.
They presupposed that 1 equals 1. They presupposed that 2 equals 2. They presupposed.
Yes, because they described it in the first place.
Bruh.
They're describing 1 + 1 is 2 equals true. That's what they're describing it as.
Yeah, but they're presupposing that 1 equals 1, 2 equals 2. These are presuppositions that we just accept as facts.
Okay, we're also presupposing that or rami is a word in English. We're also presupposing that basketball is a word in English too. It doesn't make sense to say that
English is not deduction.
Logic.
In this part, I would like to congratulate Mike. I was very impressed. I have never seen an individual intuitively, on the spot, describing logical absolute in a more efficient way. I was impressed. I said, whoa. Okay. Logical absolutes are the subject people like Matt Dillahunty confuse and get wrong. The only time I saw the atheist experience lose an argument in years was this. Not even top philosophers get how logical absolutes work. And Mike, a young person on the spot, intuitively gets the concept right. Okay, I was very impressed. I said, wow. Okay. As for you Muslims, I didn't expect any better. Obviously, not just you miss completely the point and you don't, get the brilliance of what he says, you will then mock. Okay, let's see what Mike said about logical absolutes.
Mathematics is absolutely true because it's within itself. But outside of mathematics, it's just a concept. It's not absolutely true outside of mathematics. You
So
can't get
yeah.
what?
I was gonna say, so like 1 apple plus 1 apple doesn't equal 2 apples.
It does. Within mathematics, it does. But it's a concept. The idea of one is a concept.
It's a true concept which we
Yes.
can observe in reality if you need to.
Yes, but your point is that we can't get to absolute truths. Is that your point, right? Or science doesn't get us to absolute truths, and I agree. Science doesn't.
Guys, at this point, not even top atheist philosophers get it right, and they acquiesce on thinking logical absolutes are absolutes referring to the universe. They think logical absolutes exist irrespective of minds. Yet Mike got it right. Logical absolutes are absolutes because they mirror our mind, not the environment. 1 plus 1 equals 2 is an absolute because the lens of reference reflects our mind, not the environment. For example, 1 stone plus 1 stone equals 2 stones. But for the environment, that might mean 30 trillion molecules plus 70 million trillion molecules equals 100 trillion molecules. That is again a mathematical deductible number because our universe comprises by equal valued things. The molecules have the same value. Logical absolutes work because the universe has order and uniformity. In other words, is rationally deductible. And therefore we can make descriptions. Not because mathematics prescribe the universe. So, mathematics are descriptive, not prescriptive. But I don't like to think of these things very much because I get dizzy. The point remains. Mike made a very good attempt to approach a very difficult foundational question that confuses even people with the mind of Einstein. Okay, it's very, very difficult, this stuff, the logical absolutes. Yet the Muslims mocked him, parroting cliché sound bites.
English is not deduction in the sense that math is.
But it is analogous because it is in the same way as mathematics. It's a language.
Yeah. So when you're comparing a language to a language, you could say, yeah, okay, it's mathematics. When you're comparing like DNA, for example, you could also say it's a language. But the point here is that math is deduction. Language is not deduction. So it's not comparable in this
Math
concept.
is a deduction based on how we think the universe works. Again, 1 iPad plus another iPad is 2 iPads. Right?
It's not based on the universe. We look at the universe in a mathematical sense, because when you say this is 1 iPad, you're using a mathematical truth. That mathematical truth that 1 is 1 is presupposed to be true. That's my entire point. When you say this is 1 water bottle, you've used a mathematical truth by calling it 1 water bottle.
Yes, but mathematics are descriptive, not prescriptive. Let's take chaos, for example. Even when with your mind that was evolved in an ordered universe cannot give meaning to chaos. Why is that? If mathematics were prescriptive, then we would have found meaning even in chaos. Yet exactly because maths are descriptive, they need to perceive things with some kind of order and uniformity to drive meaning. The fact that things in reality can be equal, the fact that things in reality can be the same, is not because mathematics, it's just a cruel fact of reality, that two things can be the same. How we get order from chaos. Order implies patterns. A pattern implies repeatability and therefore some things being equal. The blunt fact in nature for the possibility of things being equal drives the possibility of order and mathematics. Our mind is tuned by evolution to recognize order, patterns that work in a given environment in order to survive. Our mind mirrors the scales of the environment and it's also scaled. We don't pre-assume anything. Mathematics work is just a blunt fact of reality. Because of the blunt fact of reality of the potential of things being equal, that drives order, that drives patterns, and those patterns our mind recognizes and translates to mathematics. So we are not pre-assuming anything. It's just a blunt fact of reality. An inevitable blunt fact of reality that some things can be equal. Okay, from there everything starts.
So when you take another one and you say this is the second and 1 + 1 = 2, those are mathematical truths you're using, which makes it circular reasoning.
So you're saying mathematics is circular?
Bruh.
No, I'm not saying mathematics is circular.
I'm
saying mathematics is presupposed to be true.
Truth is something that corresponds to reality. In order for our mind to recognize reality, there must be some kind of order our mind recognizes. The fact that our universe contains order and therefore rationally deductible, we then use mathematics to describe the universe. Mathematics are descriptive, not inscriptive. Therefore, they are not pre-assumed, they are just blunt facts of reality. So, you are wrong, Rami. We don't pre-assume anything. Mathematics mirror blunt facts of reality. Okay, we don't pre-assume. Why we don't pre-assume them? Because mathematics are not prescriptive. They don't give the facts of reality. They describe the facts of reality.
And you can't prove it. You can't prove 1 = 1. You can't prove 1 + 1 = 2. Because
Yes,
as soon as you try to, you use mathematical truths already. As soon as you say this is 1 water bottle, you've already failed. That's circular arguing, because you're using math to prove math. This is 1.
What?
You said we cannot prove 1 + 1 = 2. We pre-assume it. That is based on a wrong premise, that logic alone defines truth. No. Truth corresponds to reality, and reality is not just logic. It includes the environment. So, the blunt fact of reality that things can be equal mirrors in the truth that 1 + 1 = 2. But I still don't understand how is that relevant to the subject whether God exists. Because you listened to the propaganda of Muslim apologists, you now have the straw man, the delusion that atheists don't correspond to logic. We don't accept logical deduction. That's not true. We simply recognize that logical deduction also requires true premises, something that you don't recognize and accept, making you the one not understanding how effective reasoning works, not atheist.
I don't know why every single person watching this, leave a comment and let me know if that made sense. I don't know why he could not understand that very simple point. Like, was there something wrong in my articulation? Was it like just non-comprehensible?
I don't know. I don't know. Just pay close attention to his body language throughout these video clips. That's what I'm gonna say.
Yeah.
Yeah.
You just agree that we're made of particles.
I said, yeah, we are made of particles. I didn't say only particles. I didn't say that particles are the necessary existence. So
what
there's a
else are we
difference.
made of?
See, this is the thing. It's not just causation. It's limitation. It's dependency. It's a multitude of things. If something can exist in another way, it's not necessary. If something is made of smaller parts, it's not necessary. So if you are saying that the plethora, the multitude, just let me finish this point. If you are saying that the multitude of these particles is the necessary existence that is uncaused, that is not contingent upon anything, that is necessary, not possible, this is fallacious. And the reason for that is, what is the sum of all particles? Every individual particle together. So the summation of the particles is predicated on what? The individual particle. That's why it's fallacious. You still need an external, independent, unlimited existence that's necessary to allow that to be.
The contingency argument consists of two parts. Recognize the need for a necessary existence. B. Demonstrate that this necessary existence is God. Rami, you dishonestly chose to only address the first part, and you avoided completely to address the second part. Let's see how you avoided to address the second part.
And there's more.
Yeah,
there's
I
more.
would call the God the gaps, because nowhere did you say God. I mean, the best that argument can get you is that there was maybe a cause. That's the best you can get to.
We're getting there.
Let me talk. It doesn't say anything about the cause. You have no idea what the cause even is. All you're doing is assuming that the cause is God. Makes no sense.
Okay, that's not what I'm doing, and I'm going to demonstrate how. Okay.
And yet, Rami, that's exactly what you did. You had the opportunity to go to the second part, and you avoided that consciously. That was not a mistake. Let's see how you avoided that.
See, man, honestly, come on. I like you as well, but this, like, you have to know that these arguments don't even make sense when you're jumping back and forth between.
You haven't even given a logical argument yet. You're just saying that everything's contingent and therefore God exists.
I never said therefore God. I said therefore the necessary existence.
Okay, let's assume that there was a necessary existence.
Yeah.
What does that mean about the cause? Let's get to the God part now.
Yeah.
Let's say you're right and there is a necessary existence. How do we know it's God, and specifically you're God?
Okay, that's a good question. And by the way, it's not just about causation, as I've said many times. It's not just about causation. Causation could be one, but it could also be limitation. For example, every limited thing that exists is defined by its limitation. And without that limitation, it wouldn't be, right? For example, the iPad you just picked up. It wouldn't be if it wasn't defined by those specific limitations. I'll give another example. It's easy. If I draw a circle, that circle didn't exist until I drew it, right? It's limited, and it's defined by the limitation that I gave it. I'm also limited.
So, Rami, you consciously decided to address only half of the argument. Recognize the need for a necessary existence. So, consciously, you didn't address the contingency argument in the full. So you didn't prove anything. Okay? Consciously, you decided to only address the first part. But the contingency argument consists of two parts to demonstrate truth. So you didn't demonstrate anything, in other words.
Why can't the sum of the universe be just the particles? Why can't that be?
I just explained why. Because the sum of the particles is
Yeah.
broken down into every individual particle. So it's contingent upon every individual particle. Therefore, it's fallacious to say that it's necessary.
What's wrong with that? Why can't the universe be contingent on itself? Just like your God is. Your God is an independent thing, right? Why can't the universe be?
If it's contingent upon itself, that's just saying it's necessary. And if it's necessary, it cannot be comprised of smaller parts. The sum of particles.
Why not?
Because if it's broken down into smaller parts, then it's contingent upon those parts.
Rami, we accept the need for a necessary existence. There must be an initial essence that always existed and could not have been any other way. Because we have something, and something cannot come from nothing. We have something now, and something cannot come from nothing. So, something must always existed, inevitably, and could not have been any other way, because that is what inevitable implies. If it could have been any other way, it wouldn't have been inevitable. Moreover, there isn't any something that before that to define probabilities or potentiality. So, something always existed, inevitably, and could not have been any other way. We accept that. Now let's go to the second part, the one you didn't address at all. Okay, so you did half of the contingency argument. Therefore, you didn't prove anything.
Okay, so what? What's wrong with that?
So if it's contingent upon those parts, it's not necessary. It did not need to be. And it only exists because
on itself.
That's a difference. That's different.
How is it different? The universe could be necessary by itself. It could be the case.
The universe is comprised of contingent things.
Rami, when he says the universe, he implies the cosmos. Always that everything that exists. Okay, that is what he implies with the term universe. Our universe began. We don't know anything about the cosmos. The cosmos might be eternal, and the cosmos doesn't necessarily mean universe in the sense of our universe. It might mean a quantum environment. Okay, a quantum environment doesn't consist of particles and could have been the necessary existence. In fact, it is the necessary existence. Let me demonstrate why a quantum environment or the cosmological nothing is the necessary existence. Let me demonstrate that right now. Philosophers say, from nothing, nothing comes. Or, nothing is what stones dream of. That is the philosophical nothing. We have something right now, therefore, that nothing obviously never existed. But why you, philosophers and everybody else, intuitively think that nothing is a probable candidate to always exist inevitably? Why you think nothing is a probable candidate to always exist inevitably? Because it's simple. It's nothing. And yet, because we have something, the philosophical nothing never existed. What is the next candidate to always exist in the place of the philosophical nothing? If you take out the philosophical nothing, what is left? Maybe a spacecraft. Maybe an iPhone. Maybe an extremely complicated conscious being with specific character and political views, a chin, a leg, a foot, and loving Mohammed. Maybe that is what inevitably is left after we take nothing out. After we take the philosophical nothing out, what is left inevitably? The next thing, the cosmological nothing. Okay, that is the next thing, my friend. If you take nothing out, what is left? An elephant. Maybe it's left this. Maybe it's left Muhammad. My friend, if you take nothing out, what is inevitably left? God, Allah. An environment, my friend, the cosmological nothing, obviously. The simplest fundamental form is inevitably there. How can God, with so specific qualities, be inevitably there after nothing? Imagine nothing. You take out nothing, God is left. No, the next thing after nothing, my friend. The simplest thing. The contingency argument, my friend, demonstrates that the simplest thing must be inevitably there and could not have been any other way. Allah could not have been any other way. He could not have a chin. He could not have a leg. He could not be a communist. He could not have loved Muhammad. He could not have been all-powerful. He could not have been all-merciful. He could not have written the Quran. He could not have been non-conscious. He could not have been not all-loving. He could not... Eternal things, my friend. He could have been another way. But an environment, a quantum environment, if you take out nothing, it's the next inevitable thing that could not have been any other way. Because it's an environment, it's simple.
So what?
So therefore, it's made of contingent things.
So what?
So you're breaking the universe down into contingent objects, which makes the universe contingent.
Why can't it be contingent on itself? Why?
You idiot. Of course it's not your fault. It's Leibniz's fault. Contingent imply continuing dependence. The total amount of energy of our universe is zero, my friend. Our universe is independent, my friend. So, unless you say contingent as implied inside the contingency argument, contingent is a wrong word, my friend. It's a wrong word, my friend. Contingent implies continuing dependence. So, is our universe continuing dependent on something? No, it isn't, my friend. The total energy of our universe is zero. Our universe is self-sufficient, my friend. So, you failed in two ways, my friend. First of all, you failed to convince the atheist for the truth of the premise A, for the need of a necessary being, because you didn't explain that in a sufficient way. If I was there, I could have convinced him. But you use words, contingent, and you cannot convince him. So you failed in two ways. First of all, you failed to make him accept the premise A, which is true. And then you didn't address the premise B, my friend, at all. Total failure, my friend. So this debate was a total failure for you, 100%. And not to mention all the rest of the small things you made errors. You implied that sound logic necessarily is true. Another wrong thing you said, my friend. Anyway, in the next video, I will do a last video and I will address the rest of this video.
Who sucked out the feeling? sucked out the feeling.